This is your daily dose of all things royal. Welcome back, my gorgeous, good-looking friends. About a month ago, I had posted this video talking about the BetterUp Summit Uplift, in which, at the time, Prince Harry was not featured on the website, and it almost appeared as if he wasn't invited. Well, fast forward, this BetterUp Summit has been underway, and guess who pops up? Prince Harry in this tightly controlled PR exercise. I'm guessing at the time when BetterUp was advertising Uplift, they did not want to mention Prince Harry's name because of the African Park scandal. But we're not going to let Prince Harry off the hook here and remind everyone about the abuses that have been going on over there and nothing being done or said about it by either the Duchess or Duke.
That this organization, African Parks, have is responsible for human rights violations, terrible human rights violations. So that is why we are asking him to step down.
African Parks has been accused for 10 years of mistreating an indigenous tribe named the Bakas in one of its national parks in the Republic of Congo.
La forêt est interdite maintenant. On ne sait pas comment on peut vivre et continuer à garder nos enfants.
The Baka will go to the forest to do something they need. For example, collect honey. That's how they are hunter-gatherers. That's how they get their food. And they will be arrested by the park rangers and tortured. It's also condemn these people to starvation. These people rely on the forest for living. So that's why Survival is talking about a green genocide. He replied to us, he put us in touch with the CEO of African Parks. We thought that he could use his influence to push for a change and also to speak out against the abuses. Mining concessions are allowed to be in the park. Luxury tourism is allowed. This is about this particular model of conservation where we create protected areas, we militarize them, and we evict the people, we ban the people from entering. We have the responsibility to act because many of these atrocities are funded by Western money. And conservation today is fighting the best guardians of the natural world. And I think that this is the thing that we absolutely need to change.
But first, let's look at the article by The Sun talking about this laughable panel that Prince Harry was conducting. So Prince Harry has opened up about the pressures of today's world during a life coaching session. The Duke of Sussex spoke to a crowd about burnout at life coaching firm BetterUp's recent summit in San Francisco. Harry is the company's chief impact officer and looked thrilled to be a part of the event where he met the Office star Mindy Kaling. The Duke was snap beaming alongside the well-known actress as they embraced. Mindy, star of The Mindy Kaling Show, had previously appeared on Meghan's Axe Spotify podcast, Archetypes. Well, that should tell you enough. Harry appeared in his usual smart casual attire, wearing a gray suit jacket, open with a plain white shirt and dark jeans. He was joined by Dr. Adam Grant, BetterUp's chairman of the Center for Purpose and Performance, and Kelly Jones, chief people officer at technology firm Cisco. As you can tell already, this is a PR exercise for Prince Harry and his brand. But as it continues, and it says, during his session titled Beyond Burnout, Transforming C-Level Stress into Strength, Harry helped to examine how business leaders can best manage unique stress situations. This is how entitled this guy feels. Just because he has this C-level chimpo title, Chief Impact Officer, which he's making zero impact on the employees, he thinks that he can talk about C-level stress and burnout. Like, give me a break. It says here, according to the Sussex website, the session examined how C-level leaders manage the unique pressure of their roles, build resilience, and foster a culture that supports sustainable performance. Okay, they don't even pay attention to their own employees. Let's take a look at what some of the recent Glassdoor reviews say about BetterUp. As of today, only 36% would recommend to a friend, and Alexei Robichaud, otherwise as I like to call him, Alexei Robichaux, is down from 2.9 a month ago to now 2.8. And quite a few more reviews had been added since January, all not so good. Dated February 13, 2024, avoid 1 star. They don't recommend, they don't like the CEO, and the business outlook is poor. Pros, smart employees that were strategically conned to joining. Cons, worst startup company I've ever worked for. Please avoid at all costs. Please sell the company. Okay, noted. The next part is an exercise in pure comedy. It says, it continued to say Harry and his fellow panelists dove into the psychological toll of leading through uncertainty and explained how they shared their own personal stories as well as evidence based practices and forward thinking policies. Okay, pause for a second. Like psychological toll of leading through uncertainty. What did Harry have to talk about on this panel? Like, what was he involved in that was so stressful and high level at BetterUp when he's never there and receiving a 7-figure salary? I don't understand how stressful that could be. Also, look at how he handled the African Park scandal. Just ignoring it doesn't mean that you're handling the situation. In fact, this is continuing to go on and he stays silent. What is happening there? Ignoring the situation is not teaching people on how to build resiliency. And I think that Prince Harry has zero right to be speaking on this topic, in my humble opinion. Look, I have zero sympathy for these C-level executives in Silicon Valley because they know what they're doing to their employees, especially at a company like Cisco. They will tell you to your face that they believe in diversity, equity, inclusion, and that you need to have a work-life balance and offer all these benefits. But at the same time, they're talking out of both sides of their mouth because you still have to deliver for the business. So while although on the surface, for PR purposes, they're saying, oh yeah, we have a really diverse level of executives and we really care about employees. But under the surface, when you get below the executives, they don't give a shit about the employees. They're going to make them work until they burn out. And you can take all the vacation you want and you can take advantage of the business benefits that are given to you. But at the same time, if you're not performing and you're not delivering for the business, there's no excuse. You get fired. And that's the reality. They're going to set goals for you that are practically stretching you to a point where you can't afford to lose a day or take a day break. And this is what we're seeing in these reviews, as in this recent review dated March 12, 2024. Another 1-star, it says, cons, if you're considering joining BetterUp in the go-to-market organization, I highly recommend you do not. Burnout is rampant. Leadership, from direct managers to senior executives, do not respect or empower individual contributors to do the job they are hired for. Very command control culture that comes for the founders and is emulated by leaders. There is zero psychological safety to share feedback or have constructive conversations with leaders. Feedback is only welcomed if it is coming from leaders to individuals. Where have we seen that before? If you might disagree or want to discuss such feedback to ensure alignment, you will be dismissed or shut down. Finally, coaching and personalized development at scale is not blue ocean. Learning Solutions and other players in the space are harassing AI and scalable commercial options at a faster and more competitive rate than BetterUp. Advice to management. Advice will not be heard here or internally. It said the actions were aimed at helping leaders to thrive under the current pressures they may face. The event, called the Uplift Summit, centered on courageous leadership and provided a unique forum for C-suite leaders, business executives, and HR professionals and advocates. What executive was stupid enough to attend this and waste their time listening to these yahoos who know nothing about leadership and don't even consider putting their employees first? Harry first took on the role as Chimpo with a mental health firm for BetterUp in March of 2021, 8 years after the company was founded. His position was made public just weeks after his explosive lie fest on Oprah Winfrey. According to the company's website, it has a network of over 30,000 coaches who offer advice and help in 60 languages across 70 countries. However, it's alleged Harry's involvement hasn't been met with wide appreciation, with one former employee previously telling the Daily Beast that his involvement has become somewhat of a distraction. In August last year, it was reported that BetterUp staff had questioned Harry's role at the company. Staff allegedly turned on the Duke, who reportedly earns a 7-figure salary at the firm, after more than 100 San Francisco-based BetterUp employees were laid off earlier that year. Now, I hate the way that they position Harry and his involvement with BetterUp, in which they said, according to the Daily Beast, the Duke became a target for angry BetterUp staff. Oh, so they made him the punching bag because the executives were not doing their job, but instead causing psychological harm to their employees? Harry's a part of that. And quite frankly, if he's not doing any work for seven figures and just showing up and all the drama surrounding him, I mean, people need to look at themselves. These executives think that they are at no fault, and the reason why their business is plummeting is because of whether they have incompetent staff or the market, but they never take any responsibility for the reason why their company is going down the toilet. And that's exactly what is happening. They say, but they added that staff soon began to find him a distraction, with many fearing his ongoing dramas might impact on the company's reputation. No, I think the company is doing it to themselves in how they're treating the people. Like, if you don't take care of your people, it's like, a human body. If you don't work, then everything else doesn't work. So if you are running your people into the ground with this psychological trauma and it being an unsafe workplace, then maybe you need to look at yourself and how you're leading. A good leader puts their employees first, and they need to understand their people a bit better. Instead of looking at them as the collective, they really need to understand what motivates the people that they hire. First of all, like, this environment at BetterUp is very cult-like, in which they want to be able to tell you what your purpose is. And if your purpose is supposed to be for the collective, forget about your family, forget about your hobbies, your interests. You need to sell your soul and dedicate every working minute for the collective good. This is never healthy or sustainable in any work environment, hence the reason why you have this churn and burn. Let's look at this last review to drive my point home, dated March 30th, 2024. Given 2 stars, a little bit better. When we look at the pros, it says there are 3 shining stars: the people, the customers, and the offering. But apart from that, this place is a total disaster because of leadership. Again, Prince Harry sitting on a panel talking about sea level and the stresses that they face. But here's what the employee says. Cons. Here's the story of BetterUp. It used to be a soaring success story, growing steadily for 4 strong years under leaders who were practically doubling its size annually. The atmosphere was electric, and the leadership was revered. Then, last year, Alexi's insecurities threw everything off course, and he lost respect from the team. Feeling threatened, he went on a firing spree, axing pretty much anyone in leadership who didn't march to his beat. The whole leadership lineup got a makeover, and unfortunately, the folks who were driving the growth got the boot. Instead, he clung to the yes people who've been coasting along, contributing zilch for the past couple of years, simply because they nodded along with him. Result? Zilch growth and the same old faces that continue to threaten everyone. Surprise, surprise, the company hit a growth plateau last year and didn't grow, and now it's like a ship adrift with no one at the helm. Alexi's sticking with the same crew despite 0 growth, no marketing, no head of sales, no strategy, no future roadmap, and a seriously toxic vibe in the air. Like, what do you expect? They kept Prince Harry, but got rid of the people who were actually doing right by the company. Birds of a feather definitely flock together, and it sounds like Alexei Robichaux doesn't like criticism just as much as Meghan and Harry don't like criticism. So, you shouldn't be surprised if the company is going down the toilet, which is exactly what's happening here. This whole facade with the marketing and PR that they try and push out is not working. People see through all of it, and clearly how they treat their employees is exactly a reflection of the health of this company. You got to wonder, who are these C-levels that are attending a session here to listen to Prince Harry lecture them on how to be more resilient as a C-level? Like, it's such a joke. And the fact that BetterUp has put this fool as the face of the company should tell you enough. You know, before Meghan Markle came along, I never really looked at race and the color of people's skin. But because these leftist progressives focus so much on the color of people's skin by keeping racism alive, you can't help but notice this all-white cast here. Talk about diversity and inclusion. I mean, they look so foolish standing there smiling as if they're doing something that is impacting the world. In fact, they're making it even that much more noticeable how hypocritical they are. I'm telling you, they all look like clowns when they do shit like this. Anyhow, we already know what these people are about. If you're working at BetterUp, get out of there. That place is going nowhere. And why should you subject yourself to all this mental torture and abuse? You know, like they're going to find someone else to replace you with. So go find a job that actually values you versus working for these slave owners, because essentially that's what they are. And Cisco is one of the worst offenders of abusing their employees. So I'm not surprised that they got one of their executives to sit up there and spit out bullshit. But what do you guys think? Definitely leave your thoughts below. As always, I will be back with more content. But until then, please be safe and I will talk to you later. Bye.
Such a fraud.